I don't know if it's iron. This would be part 2 of this particular segment. I don't know if the doors are made out of iron or if they're made out of other materials that are commercial grade to the point that they don't wear out that easily. In other words, whenever they build a door like this, it's supposed to last for several years, even though the door is going to be open and shut several hundred times a day. It's built to last because of its durability. To break out a window like this with your bare fist requires a great deal of energy and hate to be able to do that. These was the same people that was wanting in there on these people. And if they could have got in there, you know good and well they wasn't getting in there to shake their hands. They wasn't getting in there to pat them on the back. They wasn't getting in there to praise them. They was trying to get in there to, you got it, slaughter those people. And if certain people didn't work fast towards getting them out of that first floor, and if the hand of God wasn't upon this situation could have become so much worse than what we could ever think about or ever imagine towards what we're seeing and hearing right now. And I am so let down. I am so despaired. I am so heartbroken over security that's supposed to make sure that events like this is secure that has failed the American people. They have literally failed democracy by allowing for something like this to occur. And if you also go to the upper levels of the windows up there on the second and third floor, I'm really surprised that they don't have bars in the windows. And if they're worried about the look, as far as it not giving the right image, they could always put the bars on the inside of the windows. That way, by looking at the windows, you would think, well, it's just a window. Or they could have some other kinds of security system to where it was like a automatic big piece of metal that automatically come down that secured that building to make sure nobody could break in and just walk on in there and jump on in there just like if you was breaking into somebody's regular house. I can't believe that the security in that building was that lax. It's mind-boggling to me of the money that we spend and the type of money that we supposedly have as being one of the strongest, powerfulest nations in the world, and for hoodlums, out and out hoodlums, just to be able to waltz on in like they own the place, in which I know, theoretically speaking, they own it. But you don't own it to abuse it like this. You don't own the Capitol building to the degree that you can go in and commit violence.
And they had zip ties and they had weapons. And it is the actions of those police officers right there who were delaying their entry, of the staff that barricaded that door, that bought us time to escape. And that was the only way out for us, for we who were on the House floor and those in the gallery. That was the one remaining side of the House floor. That's how close we came to having violent people in the House chamber, taking people hostage or physically assaulting them. I'm telling you right now that there are serious questions about the response of the Capitol Police, and we're going to ask them, and they need to be accountable. There were also individual officers, let's not forget, and people like Brian Sicknick who gave their life defending us. I benefited from that, and I want to hold up those officers for their bravery.
Absolutely.
And the staff members that were absolutely heroic.
Absolutely.
And bought us time to escape that very dangerous situation. But that's how close we came. And for those who are pretending this wasn't an incendiary event, that this wasn't violence and an insurrection, they need to watch those videos. And there needs to be accountability by every Republican who's spreading the same lie that this is a stolen election, and therefore that kind of conduct is justified.
Let me ask you one last question. There's some reporting at our network that at Maine DOJ, they don't plan to pursue charges against the incitement side of what happened Wednesday, but you're talking about the big lie. The incitement seems to me the only chance holding those who incited the violence, the president and the people around him. There's lots of videos circulating on social media of all of them as well. Is it your hope that the new management who'll be in place in 11 days will re-examine those who incited the deadly insurrection?
What I want is I want to see when we vote on removal, and we're going to vote on removal, I believe, in the next few days. We're going to see a roll call of who's standing with that violent mob and who's standing with our Constitution. And that will be the roll call of infamy. Those will be the people who have been spreading this, I'm calling a blood libel, this incendiary lie that there was a stolen election. That is what inflamed this violence. It is the same lie the president told us to say, come to town, they're going to steal the election. If Vice President Pence doesn't do the right thing, we're going to go down there. He sent them down to the Capitol, and when Pence didn't do what he wanted, they turned this mob loose. And it is the Republicans on the House floor and in the Senate who are trying to set aside the Electoral College vote, who are perpetuating the same incendiary lie. There is no difference between what they're doing and what the president did, which is why they need to be held accountable first and foremost by their voters. And that's why we're going to see real clearly this week who's on the side of our constitutional system and who's on the side of that mob.
It's really sad that it's come down to this in the latter part of the 4 years of Donald Trump's administration. All his boasting, all his rallying, all his conniving, as far as I am concerned, he has done this to try to go out in a big bang to justify getting, I believe, about $155 million more from his base since the election occurred. They're still throwing money at him like he's some sort of a goddess or some sort of a king or something. And naturally, whenever you're a scam artist like this, you got to go out some way. So this is the way that Donald Trump has chosen to go out towards trying to convince his base. Well, I went out, but I went out swinging. Right? You knew that you was beaten. Donald Trump knew that he had been beaten fairly, but he kept that rhetoric going. You know why he kept that rhetoric going? Because it kept that money coming in. He was scamming people for millions of dollars. You know, we put people in jail like Jim Baker and Tammy Faye Baker because they had basically scammed the American people out of I don't know how much money. Murdoch, we put him in jail for scamming thousands and hundreds of millions of dollars from people. We put other people in jail for doing the same thing. But yet, no, this guy thinks that he can do it and get away with it towards basically being nothing but a scam artist. I'm talking about Donald J. Trump. It is so appalling. I was so upset Wednesday that my nerves has been so upset since then that I can't hardly get away from the pot right now because of having diarrhea. This whole thing has given me a bad case of diarrhea to the point that who knows if it's settled down yet or not, or if it's just now in the beginning phases towards something materializing even bigger than this. All over a Fruit Loop, a screwball.
I hope as a former Republican that some Republicans look at the fact that the coup plotters in Georgia both lost to the Democratic candidates there. It might be one step in the right direction. Congressman Sean Patrick Maloney, thank you so much for spending some time with us. It's always an honor.
Well, that'll do us for this particular program. Once more, if there's ever been a time that we needed to pray for each other, it's in this time in the 21st century, in the year 2021. What a way to start out the year pertaining to a Christmas explosion in downtown Nashville, in the very state that I live in. And then about 13 days later, we have a coup that has been developed by Donald Trump on the 6th of January in 2021, and it's just mind-boggling for most people to get to wrap their minds around, because you know, if you hadn't been touched this way in 200 years, you get to pretty well thinking that you're invincible, that nothing like this could ever occur here in America. And it has occurred right in front of all of our very eyes. In other words, it was hidden right in front of us. We knew, or we thought that we knew, what was going to occur, and sure enough, it occurred. It is so sad. It's one of the saddest moments of history that the American people have ever had to deal with, pertaining to the latter part of this administration that has manipulated people all over this great nation. God bless you. Good luck to all of us. As we say, and we continue to say here at 291 Thompson Road, Sharon, Tennessee, zip code 38255. Shalom.